you could use in any area of your life. And one of the tools I'm going to teach you is something I use on a daily basis to prevent me from having injuries, to protect my loved ones, to help me to feel more in my body, and to prevent disease, and to help me to manifest. And this is going to be a super simple tool for you to take home and for you to utilize any time in your life. So before we get started with the tools and the teaching, I'm going to just briefly introduce myself. My name is Shara Ogin, and I am an intuitive coach. I'm an energy healer. I do Reiki. I combine a few different tools and trades as a life coach and as a body healer. And for the most part, my life changed when about a decade ago I entered into a psychic training. Prior to that, my life was good. I had a career in the medical profession, and I wanted to just change a few things in my life. Like I wanted to up my happiness ability, my ability to be happy and to feel joy and to feel connection and to manifest what I wanted and to stop comparing myself so much to other people. In other words, I wanted to up my self-worth. And as soon as I entered into a 4-year training, clairvoyant training, everything in my life changed. So you see, your intuition center is your inner compass. And this is your inner guidance center. This is what we must rely upon to guide us. Otherwise, our ships may sail us off course, and we may find ourselves listening too much to the actions of our mind. We are all born psychic, and then life happens. We feel shame, we feel angry at people, we get hurt, our heart gets hurt. We have environmental things around us that throw us into haywire and to throw us off balance. And this is what blocks our ability to perceive and interpret information. We doubt and we question ourselves. And this blocks our energetic flow. This blocks our creativity. And so in today's class, I'm going to teach you a few tools that will help you to move your energy and to find your vitality and your clarity. And so in a nutshell, a lot of the work to be a good healer or psychic comes with simply getting out of your own way and learning how to listen to the truth within inside yourself. Some say that the psychic center lies in your third eye or in your sixth chakra. And others say that it needs to drop down into your heart, the lotus center of your heart. And it's really important, I say, to have both your third your third eye and your heart open. So let's go ahead and get started. And by the way, I welcome anyone who's on the call to go ahead and use the interactive chat here. Go ahead and tell me where you're calling in from, where you're listening to this from. I welcome any comments and questions. And by the way, I respond to every comment and question, whether it's in the chat or in the comment box below. I made a contract with myself to just be open and available for those who are ready and available and wanting to go to the next level and need my help. Okay, so before I even start with teaching you the 3 psychic tools, let's start by setting ourselves up for healing. So when I do psychic readings, I always sit up in a chair with my feet flat on the floor. I know there's lots of practices that say sit on a pillow, and that's good too. I used to do Buddhist meditation, and that's how I was originally taught meditation. And so go ahead and sit on the floor with your legs crossed for other meditations, but not for this one we're doing right now. So I always use back support, low back support, because when you have support behind your low back, it helps your neck to be supported and your head to be supported over your pelvis. In other words, the S-shaped curve of your spine is best supported by a pillow behind your low back, but however, the pillow should not be all the way down to the bottom of the chair. About 1 or 1.5 inches from the bottom of the chair is the proper placement of the pillow. So when I do psychic healing, this amazing thing happens where also chakras align. So nobody's in alignment Don't let any x-ray tell you something's wrong with you just because your neck vertebra is here and the other vertebra is there. We're all discombobulated because our children pull us this way or work pulls us this way. But when I do energy and psychic healings, you do become more aligned. So it's important that you're actually in a proper posture for the healing to occur, to align your body. Okay, so the next step is to quiet your mind. And for the practice I do, I literally shut my eyes. And I know there's certain meditation practices where you could keep your eyes just slightly open. And I have a YouTube video, which I'll put the link to, about a basic 10-minute breathing meditation where you just focus on your breath, which is more of a Buddhist meditation. So this is basically a simple meditation simply to quiet your mind. I have an intuition training I'm about to start next month, and that's going to be the first segment. The first class is just literally going to be a meditation to quiet your mind. So let's see how you do with that. Let's just shut our eyes and quiet our minds. And ask yourself, where are you? Like, where are you? For me personally, I would answer that I'm actually off to the right side. My attention's off to the right side, and it's in my upper body. So I'm curious, where are you? Okay, and then you could go ahead and open your eyes and go ahead and write in the chat, where are you? And maybe you're off in the thoughts of where you were just before you got on this call. You're thinking about the distractions or the to-do lists. And how is that to simply quiet your mind? It takes training. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the first psychic tool. And if you leave this call with just this piece, that's enough, okay? And so the first one is, it's grounding, okay? So most energy healing practices have some form of grounding. It's very essential right now because of all of the world events going on and all the ones that will be going on through the entire November, to keep our grounding, because what happens is our energy gets pulled up and out. Anytime you're feeling fears or anxiety or the unknowns, like what's going to happen next, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen with my job, what's going to happen with my finances, all of those unknowns, that literally from here brings our energy out. It's like see it as a smoke cloud coming out of your own body. So grounding is not only down, but it's also in. So go ahead and shut your eyes and follow me through this visualization. I want you to imagine the very base of your spine, which is your tailbone, your coccyx. And from there, I want you to imagine a tree trunk or a line, a grounding cord, going all the way down into the center of the earth. And let's go ahead and make this cord a little bit wider. Let's make it as wide as your two sit bones. And ask yourself, is your grounding cord off to one side or the other side? And sometimes if my grounding cord is off balance, I'll ask myself, why? And other times I will just pass on the question why and literally just bring it into center. Because if our grounding cord is off to the right, that's often future time. So we're thinking about where we need to go next, and we're not in present time. And if our grounding cord is to the left, that's often past time. And so we're in the events of the past. So anytime you're out of present time, that's when injuries occur. That's when our manifestation is blocked. So the two main things, this is a little tip for my next class happening tomorrow. The two main things that two of the main things that block your manifestation are when your grounding is out of present time and when you don't have grounding at all. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, so ground your grounding cord so it's straight down. And ask yourself what level of thickness is appropriate. And see if you have any resistance or difficulty to having it go all the way down. And if you do, there's really good reason, I'm sure, for why you do. For one, for a lot of people, our nervous systems don't feel safe right now grounding into the vibration of the planet. We don't know when we're going to get our next paycheck because our jobs were just destroyed because of the coronavirus. We don't know when we're going to find love because dating is so hard in a time of shelter in place. Or we have a partner and it's just crazy with this person right now. It's throwing us off balance. It's throwing us off from our core essence. So we can't control what happens around us, but we could control what happens within inside of ourselves. And just as an experiment, I want you to make the grounding cord like a toothpick now, or a straw. Make it super thin, and see what that feels like. And now go ahead and widen the grounding cord again, appropriate width that feels right for you. And once again, bring it to the center. And while you're here in the grounding, which is also earth energy, see if you could set your energy to the current vibration of the planet. Now you might go to your head, what does that mean? Use your own interpretation for what that means. You have your own freedom to interpret that phrase, the current vibration of the planet. And now, any energy that you're carrying around you that's unloving, like maybe fears, just think about what are you fearing right now? And go ahead and drop that down into the grounding cord. Like fear and anxiety is usually here, so get in touch with it. And then bring that down your grounding cord. Drop it into Mother Earth. Okay. Now, check in, is there anything you're worrying about right now? And if so, drop that down your body, down your grounding cord. And think about the last negative thought you said to yourself. It might sound something like, I don't know how, I'm afraid to take that next step because of failing, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough. Any of the different flavors of negative talk, go ahead and drop that down your grounding cord. And just check in. Is there anything else that wants to be released down your grounding cord? And if so, go ahead and do that. Check in if there's any tension or anxiety kind of energy still floating around in your chest, because I'm feeling it from others. And let's go ahead and bring that energy. You can kind of bring it in and down. Drop it down, down, down past your body into the earth. And then let all of that go and come to a peaceful silence within inside of yourself. And notice if there's a shift from within inside yourself from when we first began this class. And then go ahead and open your eyes and allow just a couple minutes if anybody wants to write in the chat about how that was for them. I see there's a lot of people on the call, and that's wonderful. And next we're going to get to the second psychic tool. So the second psychic tool is about getting the information from the center of your head. So most of the time we go through our day and gather our information from the front of our head, like our decisions, what's the course of our day going to be like, what's the best school for our children, how about what are we going to do for work. That's a lot of it comes from what I call it the analyzer, but the frontal cortex, the mind. And when we want to train our psychic ability, this needs to come from what I call the center of the head. And so I'm going to invite you to shut your eyes once again. I'm going to take you through a little exercise to come into the center of your head. So, and I'm just kind of going to check in with a few people that, let's see, I was able to move the cord to the right of the center. Wonderful. And Jolene says, so needed. And a few people reported a few other comments. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Second exercise, shut your eyes. And the center of the head is located between the right and the left ear. And if you think about this area just above your two eyebrows, you could, where Indian people put the bindi, and then go about 1.5 to 2 inches back from this point to the very center of your head, which is located about 1 inch above your eyebrows, and then straight back. So see if you could find this place inside the center of your head. And from the center of your head, I want you to imagine an imaginary golf ball size ball or golden light inside of that space. And then we're going to do an exercise to train yourself to come even more from the center of the head. This golden ball or light inside of the center of your head, I now want you to expand it really big so it fills up your entire brain. And then go ahead and contract it back down to its original size. And the original size is about the size of a walnut or a golf ball. And we're going to do that a few times. So go ahead and expand it wide so it fills your entire brain. And then go ahead and contract it back down to its original size. And let's do this a few more times. Expand it and contract it. Now, if you're starting to get a headache, then that means you are using too much effort in these muscles, the upper facial muscles, especially the eye muscles. And this, if you're getting a headache, this is most likely a habitual pattern that you've been doing even before this call. There's lots of things I suggest for that, being a somatic Feldenkrais practitioner, but I'm going to refrain from discussing those on this very call. Just know if you feel like you're getting a pre-headache, then just stop. Just take a pause and stop. And if you're okay, then let's do it a few more times. So the golden light inside the center of your head, let's go ahead and expand it big. And then go ahead and contract it back down. Go ahead and expand it big. And then contract it back down. And expand it big. And then contract it back down to an appropriate size for you that feels comfortable. And just allow your attention to come to that spot, but at the same time, soften your eyes. So you might feel your eye muscles working to pull your eyeballs back. We don't want that. So from that awareness spot in the center of your head, allow your eyes to soften. And from this peaceful spot in the center of your head, we're going to go to the third psychic tool. From this spot, I want you to project a line straight out, almost as if you were wearing a headlamp, and the headlamp has a flashlight, a golden light from the flashlight that goes all the way forward. And as it goes forward, I want you to imagine that there is a screen out in front of you. We're going to call this a psychic screen. And you can envision the psychic screen like a movie screen or a TV screen. And you want the screen to go into your peripheral vision. For some people who have very narrow vision, and narrow vision is caused by too much time on the computer. It's caused by a constriction in your thoughts, like narrow thinking, like when you get so into your own world, your own stuff, your own issues. You know, sometimes when you're in your own issues, you're just, it feels so big and so enormous. And then when you get outside of your perspective, then, or maybe like weeks or years later, you look back and it was like, that was nothing. Okay, so these are the things that cause constriction and narrow vision. So as you allow your eyes to soften and to come into a more receptive mode, your peripheral vision could open. And you want the psychic screen to not be straining your eyes. It doesn't have to be out here, but just let's say out here. When you look forward, this is about the parameters of your vision. So I want you to trace around the screen several times with you could do it maybe once with your finger, kind of go both ways, trace it. And it is about an arm's length away. And then relax your arms. Just take a moment and visualize your psychic screen out in front of you. Now, before I go to the next step, let's combine the tools. And so my question is, as you're doing this exercise right now, are you grounded? It's okay if you're not, but let's go ahead and bring a grounding cord in. And let's bring a grounding cord under our feet as well. So I talked about a grounding cord from your tailbone, but let's put a grounding cord under your left foot and under your right foot. So truthfully, you could have a grounding cord anywhere. You could have it under your chair, the four legs of your chairs could be 4 grounding cords. Grounding cords provide more stability, more support, and more connection to the earth. Okay, so now you're grounded. Let's come to the center of our head. And let's just one time expand the ball in the center of the head. And as it expands, it also pushes anything out that's in its way that's not supposed to be there. And then from this spot, let's go ahead and project it forward onto our psychic screen. And I want you to see your psychic screen out in front of you. And I want you to imagine or visualize on your psychic screen that you're in a beautiful desert oasis. The air is so fresh. There's beautiful mountain ranges off in the distance that surrounds you. But out in front of you is just this expansion of sand, this enormity around you, and this space where anything is possible. It's got that vibration there. And in this open oasis, you get to create whatever you want. So what that means is if you want particular people to be in the space, it could be people who are alive and present. It could be spirits. It could be just people having amazing time. It could be dance beats with some amazing music. It could be your family. It could be your friends. It could be new friends, because I feel like right now we could all use some new friends. We could use more friends, and we could really use connection and love from other people. And what's going on in this beautiful desert scene for you? If you get to design it any way you want, what are you doing? What does your heart and your soul want to do in this open oasis desert? The desert where anything is possible, infinite possibilities, where you get to radiate your light and however you want, where you get to feel the love from other people, or you could actually connect more deeply with inside yourself and come to a peaceful, connected place with inside of yourself, where you get to leave your worries and fears of life outside of this space. Feel the feeling of freedom or joy. How is it you wish to feel right now in this desert oasis haven? And in a moment, we're going to close up this vision. But if you want, you're welcome to take any aspects of your vision into your heart and into your body. And you can make an agreement with yourself for the day or for the day tomorrow to embody some of these elements. You could bring some of the energy, some of the manifestation energy, some of the joy from this desert oasis into your body right now. And in just a moment, we're going to open our eyes and come back and join the group. But just before we do, let's take just a few more moments to feel this energy, this beautiful energy. And let's make sure that there's connection through our hearts. Everybody's heart feels very open on this call right now. And so good work with that. Let's connect our heart energy into the other people either on this call right now or who will be listening to the recording later. This video will be available for you to watch as many times as you want. And as I'm visualizing the circle of people, I'm seeing more and more people from the desert coming and joining our circle. It's like a circle of love. And more and more and more and more. People are like, yeah, I need more of that. Enough of this shelter in place. Let's walk towards connection. And now I'd like you to put an imaginary flower out in front of you, a rose or whatever color flower you'd like. And I'd like you to drop this vision of the desert into the rose. And go ahead and drop anything else that we've been looking at, because from this point forward, that will be pastime energy. So drop anything that we've been looking at in this time we've had together into the rose. And then I want you to explode the rose into 1,000,000 pieces. Send it off into the ethers to be recycled. And then I want you to come back into your body where you are right now. Feel your bottom of your thighs on the chair. Feel the back of yourself touching the pillow or the back of the chair. Feel the rarefied air around you. And feel your heart. What's your truth right now? And go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready. And I'll give just a few minutes for anyone to share what that experience was like. I'd love to hear what your truth in your heart is right now. And anything else, any questions you have, I'm available for you. So I'll just take a couple minutes for you to come back into your body, back into your space. And we'll just take a couple, 2-3 minutes for any shares. And while you're doing that, I'll just briefly mention, like I said originally, I have a intuitive training program that's going to be starting the third week in September. And if you want to know more about that, you could check out my website. I work with people one-on-one doing coaching, psychic coaching, spiritual coaching, which is sometimes more my coaching hat, and sometimes it's more my intuitive psychic clearing hat, clear whatever doesn't need to be there. And following my intuitive training program will be my manifestation program, which is going to be super exciting. And that's going to take us into the new year, where I'm inviting a group of people to hold one another in their manifestation and in their vision. And that's why I really enjoy doing group work, is because it's not just me doing the work, but when other people envision you in that light, that really builds the field. And also, any of my programs, there's an opportunity to stay in touch after the program completes. And also, I continue to do free energy healing. So anybody on my list gets a special invitation to any of my free classes. All right, so let's see what we have here. Great. Okay. Wow, I love that you're calling from Louisiana and Lakewood, California. Wonderful. Awesome, Tim Don. Yay. No, what's this one? Let's see. Oh. Okay. Whoopsies. Okay. Awesome. Wonderful. Take just a few more breaths before we close up shop. And if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you gave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and any comments like I mentioned before. And let's see. Yeah, there's been a lot of ocean visualizations happening lately. Okay, well, you have a really peaceful night's sleep or a great day whenever you're viewing this, and I'm sending you off with so much love.